complain, but structure and also intentionally putting things in place. I also serve in church. I lead my team in church, right? So putting structure and ensuring that things are put together. And what structure can mean could be having a to-do list. Is as little as those small things. When you said that from then to now, it's also knowing what you want to be and working towards it. Constantly being hardworking, constantly showing up, constantly doing your work excellently well. Because you can do a lot of these things and not be excellent at things. People reward results, but not just results, but excellent results. So, for instance, in February this year, I had a project that I did, and I didn't even know. So after I did the project, it was so stressful. It was one of those projects that if it didn't come out well, people would say it's fine. That was how stressful it was. I was driving home on one Wednesday and I got a message that the project won a Cannes award. Cannes is the biggest advertising awards in the world. Why? Because I was able to still deliver excellently. Nobody rewards poor work. Nobody is as little as you are selling food and then you send your food and I'm seeing oil everywhere. That's shabby. Nobody rewards shabbiness. Everybody rewards excellence. So when you do your work, ensure that your work is excellent. Because is when people see excellence, they will reward it. And that's what will give you an opportunity for more work. Where I currently work, how did they find me? On Instagram. That's how they found me. And the boss reached out to me and said, I want you to be a part of my team. Why? Because I was showing up. I wasn't just showing up anyhow. I was intentional. I was excellent. And so for you that is having a business, how are you showing up? You know, it's even as little as when you come to church, looking neat.
Thank you so much, ma. Can we put our hands together for her? All right, so before I ask my next question, one of the people that you raised up your hand. Can you please come and ask your question now? Yes.
Okay, my question is about creating. Like when you said we should like after thinking about what we are interested in, after identifying what we are interested in, about creating it. There was a time I created something. I'm into crocheting. So I created something and it's actually looked awkward, something weird. So that discouraged me after some time. But later I picked it up again and I keep doing it. But it still looks awkward. How can I encourage myself to keep doing it?
Thank you. Um, the first time, like I mentioned, it might not be the best time. So the way to keep encouraging yourself is, first of all, go and pick up your crochet again. But then instead of just doing it alone, you need to go on YouTube, check how people are crocheting. Do you need to take another training? Those are the ways that you would encourage yourself and do better. Because I can assure you that people are spending money to buy that crochet that you just mentioned. I was on Instagram some months, a long time ago, and I saw people are wearing crochet as gown, as tops. You can become that, but there is a skill, a continuous knowledge, a continuous skill that you have to do, right? So don't just feel like because it wasn't fine at the first time, you want to just drop it down. No, go back. Where can you learn? Can you go on TikTok? Can you go on Instagram? Can you go on YouTube? Can you even look for somebody that knows how to do it around you and ask the person, can they teach me how to do it? Trust me, even when the person teaches you, the first one might not be a masterpiece. But once you continue and continue and continue, I'm sure you get your masterpiece.
Thank you so much, ma'am. All right. So my next question is kind of related to us. Omar, the second point you talked about being audacious. So now my question is tilted to the fact whereby when we want to start creating things, when we want to come out bold, how do we face when it comes to the part of finance, resources, like she said, discouragement coming in the way, especially the part of finance and resources. Maybe you want to start out maybe a catering business, and at that moment, the little things to use to start, you don't have them readily available. How do we still face whatever we want to?
All right. I know that, to be very honest, finance a is very is heavy, for a lack of a better word. But if we all have to wait to have finance, we would wait for a long time. And an example is my business. I currently own and run a jewelry store. And I remember that, again, please, I always like to set this as a disclaimer. What works for me might not be the same thing that work for you. What worked for her might not be the same thing. In fact, what worked for two siblings might not be the same thing that worked for the next person. And when I was going to start my accessory business that time, I did not have money. And I reached out to my friend. Her name is Tayo. And I said, Tayo, please borrow me 50,000 naira. And she did. But she was able to borrow me because I am trustworthy. And she knows I'll return the money. And that was where I started from. So two things. Start with where you are. Do you have to? I've done baking business before. I've done I used to do cake. And I didn't necessarily have all the money I needed to do it. But guess what? Even if it's 5K and all you can afford is that 5,000 naira to buy Maggi, rice, and this, you can start with that. I feel like one of the things of our generation is because we're in a social media driven generation. So everybody wants to go from year to year immediately. Most people don't believe that you scale. A lot of people, if you ask the top people, at least we all know Vicky James, right? Where did she start from? Ajegule. The money she's collecting now is not the money she collected then. So just start with where you are. And I know that 80% of the programs that you always hear, you hear start where you are. But that's because it's the truth. I can assure you that this church that we are sitting here did not start with this building. It started with one sand going into the ground and the foundation was made. If that foundation was not created, we won't have this church. So you need to start where you are. Like, it's as little as it sounds. Just start. It can even be as little as telling people to trust you. Come and buy cake. Them giving you the money. Or it can be as little as, if it's 5,000 you can afford. Instead of doing big cakes, can you do cupcakes? And then evolve. So just start where you are. And if you have maybe parents or guardians or siblings that can believe in you, maybe give you 5K, give you 10K a year, you can speak to those trusted people that can give you that amount of money to just kick off and start. But there is a particular saying that says, if it's to run, run. If it's to walk, walk. If it's to crawl, crawl. But make sure you are moving.
Thank you so much, Ma. All right, can I have another person ask their question?
So, my question is, for someone that wants to transition from a profession to another profession, like I'm studying journalism, but I feel I want to do business. So how can I transition? I don't know if you understand me.
Okay. It comes back to skill. So like I said, I studied public administration. But while I was in school, I already knew that because what do public people in public administration do? They are civil servants, right? And I knew that it wasn't going to work for me. So there are two ways to transition. One, volunteer. I did a lot of volunteering in school, right? So you said that you're currently you want to do business and you are currently learning journalism. Can you go and stay with somebody that does business? Can you go and read about people that do business? Right? And it's so beautiful to see that right now there are a lot more materials that are available to you guys than we had. I'm saying in our time. I'm not that old though. I'm still a Gen Z. So, but there are a lot more materials available to you than those times. My dad will always say that, Asmini was born in this time. The money he will make, the money he will make. And that's just because a lot more materials are available. You can read, you can learn on TikTok, you can learn on YouTube, you can volunteer, you can serve. I can assure you that that there's something that they say, and go and check it. A lot of the top musicians in Nigeria, a lot of the top instrumentalists, they started in church. A lot of them, the ones that you know, the ones that you don't know, a lot of them will tell you that I used to play drum in church, I used to sing in church. So that's how we started. So go and start, learn, right? Read a book, volunteer with somebody. If it means somebody that you can have a meeting with, maybe there's somebody that in your church you currently see and the person is doing businesses, have a conversation with the person. Ask 1001 questions. How do you do this? How do you make money? How do you put business in place? How do you have staff? That's how you start. But don't just wait till the questions will come and meet you or the answers will come and meet you. Go in search of those answers and the questions.
Thank you so much, Ma. Okay, can we have the other person?
I hope I answered your question.
Can we have the other person? Someone else raised up their hand. Oh, okay.
Good morning, ma. So my question is, you talked about creating. So my question is as regards, you are interested in a lot of things. What if you're interested in a lot of things? Then how do you create? Because I used to have an Instagram account and I used to post, but then I realized that I didn't really know what I wanted to post. Like I was interested in a lot of things. So how can you, should I just keep trying out things or what should I do?
You know that this question is always very dicey. And the reason it's dicey is because sometimes what usually happens is the way that God works, and I've seen, is that one thing is it's almost like a pathway. Do you understand? So I won't say you should stop, but I would say that try and let one thing be the major thing that people will recognize you for. So I won't say that stop the 5 other things, because what is happening is also that if you are not careful, confusion will set in. So what is one thing that always comes forth from it? Like that always stands? Because truth is, you can be one and many things. There's people that they are multi-potentialites. Like that same person can drum, that person can sing, that person can art, that can do art. I always call them that they are God's favorite children. When God created them, God was just adding skill. Take it, take it, take it. But it's not the same for everybody. I cannot sing. I remember when I was in secondary school, I joined choir. They sent me out. I cried for days. They now added me back, and I realized that I was always going off key. So I respected myself and I left. But there are some people that they can draw, they can do modeling, they can do a lot more things. But I always say that I won't say you should stop the other things. I would say, what is the one thing that comes forth more? Because the way the world is the world will know you for one thing. Those other things, like for instance, now I'm here because of what? My production angle. Does that stop the other things I'm doing? No. The world knows you for one thing, right? Don't stop the others. Groom them. Because the truth is, like I said, multiply it. That's one thing that you have, or that other skill that you think maybe is not relevant, is what might bring the next person to Christ, or is what might bring the next person and help them in their own career. So don't just think that, oh, that one thing, I don't know it. No, do it, but ensure that in all you are doing, and this my word to be used going back to sit down and having a framework. If I do 5, 10 things, what are the ones that always come front burner? And what you would notice is in all those other things you do, that one thing will show in the other things. So if, for instance, you cook or you draw, and you like to do videos, when you would notice that when you are taking pictures of your artwork, the way you take the pictures is much more creative, because that one thing will show in the other things that you have done. So, for instance, because I do production, when I do campaigns for my business, I'm not just going to release something, I'm going to create it in a way that is more exciting. My husband will always say that if I post on my stories, he can post on his story and it will be the same picture that he will post. But by the time I post on my own story, you'll get a different feeling. Why? Because I am a natural creative. So that one thing will always still show, right? But the thing is that you now need to sit down and think, what is that one thing? How do you want to harness it? How do you want to push it forward? How do you want to grow it more? And that's where skill comes in. Because what I've noticed is that we have a lot of drummers that are making loud noises. And what do they say? What's that? An empty barrel. So we have so many empty barrels that are making noise, and that's because they are not putting skill. They are not going back to learn. Then you see people on Instagram, and there's just so much noise. No substance. So you need to go back and, how can I be substantial? How can I be influential and not just viral? And most importantly, how can I be a light? And if there's anything everybody must go back home, it is you are a light, so you need to shine. Did I answer your question? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Okay, can you quickly, any other question after her? Do we have any other person?
Okay,
All
so
right,
that's the
yeah,
last
come.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma, who was your mentor when you were maybe growing up or when you are in your business? Who is your mentor? Who was your mentor?
Okay. So the concept of mentor is very, people believe in different things, right? Some people believe that you should have mentors that you always speak to, which is very good, because you have to have somebody that holds you through the pathway. But without having that person, you can always have somebody that you watch their videos. You can always, especially depending on your field. So I can't come and say, oh, these 10 people. Again, mentors are there for different levels of your life. For instance, when I was going to get married, there were people that I would speak to, right? When I was going to start a business, the new business I just started a new business last month. There were people I spoke to. And currently, there are people that we don't necessarily, when you say, oh, mentor, we don't necessarily have that mentor-mentee relationship. But I'm following them on Instagram. I'm checking what are they posting. I'm reading their captions, because I know that as they are talking, it's common sense that is coming from there. Do you understand? So even if I give you a list of people that I follow, it might not be the same thing that will work for me, that will work for you. Like they always say, fingers are not equal. Mafia go alago.
Thank you so much, Ma. So we don't have any other questions, right? So, Ma, lastly, I would love to ask this. Now, in building social media, like your social media handle, now there's a place where there should be a balance between your quest for more followership and then dashing out, like fulfilling purpose. So how do we, because sometimes, like you said, one can post something and just maybe one like, 2 views, and sometimes those things can actually be in quote discouraging. So how do we overlook things like that and focus on like the major goal and not be overshadowed by, okay, I want to grow so followership or this or that?
I think the most important thing is knowing who you are. And true, I'm not going to say that that thing doesn't work, because on Tuesday or Wednesday, I posted a video. 6 comments. I say, ew me. But truth is, former me will have gone to delete the post. I'll be like, be like, say this picture is not fine, no, or this video is not fine. But at the end of the day, that would only happen if you focus your attention on what people say. If you are driving for purpose, they will come and find you. They will all come back and find you. So instead of yearning for followership, yearning for the followership will meet you. Like he is the SUG president. People will always look for him. Do you understand? So don't just yearn for, I'm posting because I want 5 comments, or I'm posting because I want 100 comments. And if you don't see the 100 comments, see, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how you should not please people. Do we know any celebrities that we all knew at some point? I'm trying to think of maybe a name I can remember. But have you noticed that the same people that will say, this person on Instagram, they will celebrate the same person, celebrate. When the person does something on Instagram, those same people, what will they do? They will abuse, they will bash, they will, Nigerians. So if you're not trying to depend your own life based on people that do not really care or matter, it's not important. It's really not important. You're not focusing on the right focus. Right? So focus on the things that matter. Focus on creating your brand. Focus on building your brand. Focus on building and being a light. Focus on all those other things. And I can assure you, right now, I have a number of followers on Instagram. How they came, I do not know. I have not bought followers. I have not said, please follow me before. Why? People will always come to where light is. And it's just like when, I think it was speaking, and said, when there are ants, when there are flies or something, people will always come back. So when there is light, people will always come to where light is. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So instead of trying to go and, because what will happen is, if you live that way, you realize that you are doing things for people. So maybe you posted this picture now, and picture is fine. And then they now tell you, that picture is not fine. You're not going to delete it because somebody said that picture is not fine. No, because you need to know who you are for yourself. And that's why at the beginning I spoke about it. Who are you? Because at the beginning of everything, that is what really matters, right? So you don't be tossed to and fro. You are not tossed to one side. If somebody say walk here, then you now go grrr, move. The person say no. I forgot that road is blocked. Come here. You come again. Grrr, bam. It's very confusing. So the most important thing is know what you are doing. Actually, as long as you in yourself, or you know and you believe that what you are doing is right. That's all that matters. And God approves of it. Everybody that is supposed to approve of it approves of it. Every other person does not matter. They don't matter.
Thank you so much, Ma. Can we please give Mrs. Tola a round of applause? Thank you so much, Mrs. Tola, for your time. All right. So, if you were part of those that Mrs. Tola said you should meet her after, please meet Bro Olumide. He's at the back. You can look back. He's wearing white. Just meet him after. Thank you so much. Yes. All right. So we'll be going over to the next session now. And we'll be coming up with our next speaker, Miss Shemilore Anifoshe. Shemilore Anifoshe is a food media creator and the creative director of Shemzi's Food, a Nigerian and West African food content brand with over 6 years of experience at the intersection of food storytelling and digital media. She helps food organizations tell relatable stories in the most unique way possible, translating brand identity into content that connect with real people. Through Shamsi's Food, she uses her social media platforms to guide people through creating incredible meals in simple, approachable ways, making African food culture more visible and accessible to a wider audience. Shemilore works across food content creation, recipe development, food photography, and brand collaborations, bringing both creative depth and strategic thinking to every project she takes on. Can we do well to welcome Ms. Shemilore Anifowoshe?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sirs and mas. We have our adults in our midst. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity, for this summit. I was telling some of the speakers when we were downstairs that I'm a First Korean by birth. And even if I'm no longer a Foursquare person, Foursquare is still home for me. And I'm so happy to be here. So I want to say thank you to the organizers and for this opportunity to speak to the young people. Okay, so our theme for this conference, for this summit is becoming the pressure, owning and amplifying your influence to drive societal transformation. And the first thing I would want to speak about today is, as we are all seated here, we are all an influence. Yes, you might be wondering how. And I'm going to ask, like, how many of you here, maybe you've had friends or peers that maybe they dress a certain way, like maybe they like to wear skinny trousers, they like to have colored hair, and when you see them, you want to have that kind of hair or wear that kind of clothes. How many of you have experienced that? Exactly. So you see how you were being influenced by your friends, which is why I said many of us here, all of us here, we literally have an influence. But it now comes to the fact that what do people see you as? We know you have an influence, but what do people see you as? And that is what I want to talk about today. And my topic that I've coined from this theme is how to position yourself as an influence to drive societal transformation. Can you repeat what I said? How to position yourself as an influence to drive societal transformation. Do you want me to come again? How to position yourself as an influence to drive societal transformation. So I'm going to be speaking a lot about myself, giving examples, using myself as a story, just so that I can bring you all into what I want to speak about. So I'm a food content creator, and I started 6 years ago, 2019, 2020. And when I started, I didn't know it was being called food content creation or I was a content creator. I just knew that I love to cook and I just wanted to put it out there. You know, when you're in university, when you're in secondary school and you do food and nutrition, kitchen and craft practice, those were some of the subjects that I did in secondary school, and that was really a part of me. And so I kept doing what I was doing, posting online, and I started very small. I started, when they say people start from where they are, I started literally from a very small corner, and I kept growing. And 2 years down the line, someone reached out to me, and she said, oh, that she feels inspired by what I'm doing, and she would want to be a food content creator. She was, I think, 14, 15 at the time. I started very young. I started when I was 17. So just to make you know that you can start something great no matter your age. Age is never a barrier, right? And I spoke to her. I was like, oh, sure. And I just spoke to her and all of that. And today, as I speak to you, that person that reached out to me, let's say 4 years ago, she's a renowned food content creator now. If I call her name, all of you here, you most likely know her. And that was as a result of my impact, of the influence that I had on her. So the first thing that I want you guys to know is whatever it is that you find yourself to be doing, either you're in the career world, you're a content creator, as a student, be excellent. Even scripture says that whatever it is that you are doing, do it well. Colossians 3:23, do it well. So first thing I want you to know is what? Excellence. Say excellence. Whatever it is that you are doing, overdo. If there's anything like over excellence, be over excellence. I was telling a friend last week, or was it this week, that I'm going to be doing a job that I got as if I was paid 10 million naira for this job. And how much was I paid? a little above half a million naira, and I was like, I'm going to execute this project. Like, I was paid 10 million naira for it. That is because I want to position myself as that excellent person, because excellence is what makes people to notice you, and you want to overdo your best, if there's any word like that. So please be excellent at whatever it is that you do. I remember August last year, I said I'll be telling a lot about my story. I remember August last year, I worked with a client. I work with food brands, like food organizations. I help them to create content that they use for their publicity and all of that. And this brand, I worked for them. This particular job was like maybe 100K back then. And when I delivered this project, I told you I used to overdo. I'm very, very excellent at what I do. And from the communication to execution, the client had to reach out to me and say, no, your kind is very rare. Because there are many people in whatever industry you find yourself, you're a creator, there are several other people there as well. But you, what are you going to stand out as? What are people going to know you for? Is it that being excellent? And since that time till now, I've gone ahead to do several projects with them in millions of naira from just that one work that I did for them in August last year. This is just to let you know that whatever it is that you are doing, whatever it is that is your skill, be excellent. You need to keep growing. I said I started very small. I didn't have a kitchen studio. I have a kitchen studio now. I didn't have a kitchen studio. I was using my Android phone. I was using a background. Everything. But I grew along the line. You were asking something about crocheting and all of that. You need to keep developing yourself. Keep developing yourself. You need to pay for classes. If you cannot pay for classes, you watch videos online, and just keep developing yourself. And the next point I would like to speak about is consistency. Say consistency. Consistency is one of the ways you can position yourself as an influence to drive societal transformation. I already spoke about excellence. And what do I mean by consistency? I already said excellence is what gets you noticed, but consistency is what makes people to stay. It makes people to stay around. Consistency is not something you just do as a one-time thing. It's built as a pattern. Just like the food content creator I told you about that noticed me 2 years after I had started. What if I only did it as a one-time thing and I got discouraged? But because I kept doing it over time, I was able to influence her to start, and the society now has a renowned food content creator. So please be consistent. Say be consistent. Be consistent. See, it's going to be very hard. Even me, that I'm speaking, there are times that I don't want to show up, but it is doable. I have an assistant. She also goes to Foursquare. And there are sometimes I would not want to work. I would not want to shoot. And I'll say, I don't think I want to do anything today. And she'll be like, man, let's do something. No, man, let's do something, even if it is one. So that consistency spirit, it has to be there. I used to tell my friends that consistency is a grace. Trust me. Because there are times that you'll be showing up and the numbers are not moving. You're not getting contracts. You're not getting opportunities. But you just need to stay there. I remember 2023, yes. I'm a food photographer as well. That old food content thing, that's a lot. Food photography, food videography, recipe development. So I actually started as a food photographer at first. So in 2023, I got a message from a stranger on Instagram. I did not know this person. I'm not following him. Even he himself is not following me. But he messaged me and he asked, am I still into food photography? Of course, now my job, Abby. I said, yes, I'm still into food photography. And he said he would like to know if I would like to work with him to be a food photographer at a restaurant in Lagos. I was like, sure, no problem. I was still in probably 300 level. I started very young. I already told you guys. So I was still a student. So when I was a student, I was making good money and I was doing well in the industry. And that was how I started working as a food photographer at VI. I would always leave Abeokuta to go to Lagos. I think once every weekend I would shoot, I would come back. But I just want to let you know that this is what consistency does. People always like to give up before they cross that bridge. But you need to keep knocking on the rock until water comes out of the rock for you. Many of us want to have that influence. We want to have that recognition. We want to have that community, but we do not want to go behind the scenes of showing up consistently, even when it's not easy. Because consistency is showing up even when nobody is watching. Before that 2 years, within that 2 years, when that lady reached out to me, there are times that my numbers were not moving, and I was like, am I actually doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Because it felt like same thing I'm doing. People are not engaging. But there will be one person that you are actually inspiring. There is somebody that you are rubbing yourself on. And that's what I said. Consistency is very important. And please, whatever it is that you find yourself, even at the workplace, some of us are still students, some of us are working on our own, some of us work in industries. Be consistent. If there is one thing that your boss should know you for, let them be able to say that, if you give Shalape this thing, you can rest assured that this person is going to do it very well. So I said number one is what? And number two is what? So my time is just 15 minutes, so I'm trying to be fast. The third point is character. Say character. One of the ways you can position yourself as an influence to drive societal transformation is character. And what is this character? Character is how you treat people on your way up. We have a lot of influential people, and I'm very sure many of you, maybe you will be like, this person, the way this person talks is not good. The way this person acts is not good. So what I want to say about this is, as you are growing, you can be excellent, you can be consistent, right? Excellence gets you noticed. Consistency makes people want to stay with you. But character is what now determines if your influence is actually a positive pressure or a negative pressure. Do you understand what I mean? Because this summit is talking about becoming the pressure. So positive pressure is like, okay, this person is a food content creator. I'm using myself as an example right now. She's not maybe somebody that actually ignores you. I've gotten messages from people saying, oh, they didn't actually know that I was going to respond to their message. And I'll be like, I'm not an animal now. I'm not somebody that is going to bite you people, right? So as you are growing up, wherever you found yourself, already being influential, do not forget your character. It's very important. You don't know who is who, don't know where you're going to meet people. Most of the beautiful relationships I have today are people that I've actually met online. I remember someone that I met, I think 4 years ago. She's my namesake. And that was the reason why she messaged me on Instagram that, oh, you're also Shemilore. I'm Shemilore, and I love what you are doing. And I also want to be a food content creator. And I remember I mentored her for some months, and our relationship grew from there. And today, she's doing very well. Whenever I go to Lagos, I stay at her hand. And what I'm just trying to tell you is that relationships are very important. Your character, the way people see you, is very, very, very important. And I also wrote something here that so I was trying to explain to you that if you are an ignorable person, people cannot approach you, that is not influence. Just know that is not influence. That, okay, as a student, they already know you for something. If you meet that person, the person will just snub you. So what kind of influence is that you have? That is influence. That is not influence because that character is not there. Do you get? So transformation doesn't happen because of one person. Transformation doesn't happen because of just me. It also happens as a result of those that I carry along with me. As you are growing, wherever you find yourself, it's always good to have people that you are also taking along with you. Maybe you say you have a brand. There will be definitely people that will reach out to you that like what you are doing. But as you are doing that thing, how are people also perceiving you? Do you understand? Are you a rude person? Not even rude now, but let them be able to see that as somebody that is approachable. Somebody that is approachable. Don't just use your influence as a negative pressure. As this summit has already said, becoming the pressure, owning and amplifying your influence to drive societal transformation. So quickly, I'm going to be asking you, what did I say are the ways you can position yourself as an influence? So what can you tell me about that excellence? Can one person just put up their hands and tell me what they actually understand by being excellence to position themselves as an influence? Anybody? Okay, let's go.
Excellence gets you noticed. It makes people know about your work exactly, especially if it is very good, and people will notice it, and even people start coming to you to know more about what you are doing.
I said excellence gets you noticed. Please clap for her. And I said the next one is consistency. So who wants to speak about consistency? We're already done. I'm just asking questions. You want to try?
Consistency make people want to stay.
People want to stay. Consistency makes people want to stay. Whatever it is that you are doing, let people know you for it. Let them know that this is what this person does. Whenever they remember your name, they can always put something that this is what this person does. I said the last one is what? So who wants to speak about character? Let's this place speak. Character. Somebody from here. Character.
Like now, if you are someone that is rude and not approachable, people will be like, they will not have the confidence to come to you and ask you about what you are doing. But if you are somebody that is very friendly and jovial, people will be able to come to you and approach you. Some people can even want you as their mentor. So,
Yes, thank you very much. You can build something great, you can be something great, and you do not have to gatekeep. That is the last thing I'm going to say, that you can be something great, you can build something great, and you don't have to gatekeep. You can actually carry people along with you as you are going up. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma. Can we put our hands together once again? All right. So, lastly, for the speaker session, we'll be bringing up our next speaker, and that is Mr. Onitilo Onopemi Pojojo Israel, also known as RPD, the Royal Product Designer. Israel is an evangelist, a graduate of Olabisi Onabanjo University from Chapel of Abundant Life. He studied mechanical engineering. He identifies as the AI shepherd and is the gospel storyteller from graphics to character design, comic creation, animation, and game making. He does it with a kingdom perspective. He does it with a kingdom perspective that God be seen. Is a member of Foursquare Gospel Church. So let's make welcome Mr. Onitilo Israel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. So the fact that we are doing what we are doing is not because we don't have fear. It's because we choose to do it. Everybody has fear. Before I continue, I'd like to say thank you to the pastorate, to the leaders of the house. I'd like to say thank you to every one of us that we are here, to my brothers and my sisters. The fact that you are in this room, I believe you are a brother and you're a sister. I hope we understand that we are brothers and we are sisters. There is only one God, right? You are his children. I am his child also. That makes us brothers and sisters. Okay, so I like to level the plane so that it doesn't look like an official thing, so you can speak. I've been saying just few people speak. Some people have not talked at all. So when I bring the mic to you, just say whatever is in your mind. Even if we would laugh at it, it's a family meeting. So, we all know about AI, right? And for that, I'll say there's pressure. If you go online, you see AI. Videos, songs, everywhere. Do you notice an AI video when you see it? If you go online now and you scroll 3 times or 5 times, you see an AI video. So there's pressure of AI. AI is trending, right? But there's something that we have to do as Christians, as believers. Can we give a round of applause to the previous speakers that have spoken? They've done a very wonderful job with all what they talked about, from the first speaker to the second, and to my sister who just left. So, Bethel and AI. Who knows the meaning of Bethel? Places in the Bible, they have meaning. Names in the Bible, they have meaning. Who knows the meaning of Bethel? Okay? Bethel means a place of worship. Bethel means what? Bethel is a place of worship. Then, I don't know if you can quickly check for Bethel and AI on your internet. Check what it gives you. Bethel and AI. Check it. Bethel and AI. Just write it. Have you gotten your result? Anybody? Bethel and AI. Has anybody? Anyway, like on the internet, Google Bethel and AI. No one. Okay, let me just read what I have. So, Bethel, I said, is a place of worship. Right? Bethel means house of God in Hebrew. Symbolize worship, divine communion, and spiritual truth. AI means heap of rooms in Hebrew, often used to symbolize the secular world, human failure, or ruin. So we know that AI means artificial intelligence, right? We have 3 types of intelligence. The first one is divine intelligence. The next one is human intelligence. Then the last one is artificial intelligence. So there is a more like it's you know that it should be there's an hierarchy. The first one is God, the next one is humans, and the last one is artificial intelligence. So there needs to be a balance with your interaction with AI. If you don't have divine intelligence or even human intelligence, you are going to be swayed. Your faith is going to be taken. AI is a tool, but if you don't use it well, it can become an idol. It can become a god. Again, because with AI, you have control, you have power, but you need divine intelligence and human intelligence. So the Bible says in Luke 18, verse 8, can we open it? Specifically the B part. Jesus, was it Jesus that was saying it? Luke 18, verse 8. Can we check it? Yeah.
Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?
Okay, so it says, nevertheless, when the Son of Man come, would he find faith on it? In as much as you want to influence people, there's something you have to guard. That's your heart. Because with the use of AI, there are things that can go for it. When you start using AI and you are skillful and this and that, and you begin to get value, characters can go. Talking about characters, she talked about characters. What do you need to watch for your characters? The fruit of the Spirit is a standard to watch your characters. Love, joy, peace, kindness, and the remaining. When you are using AI, make sure that your faith is intact. There are things you don't do with AI. AI it's powerful. Are we hearing? It can do a lot. It can help you make songs. It can help you make create images, videos, content, designs, anything. Do we have fashion designers here? Do we have fashion designers here? Do we have tailors here? Do we have fashion designers here? Our fashion designers are scared. I'm very sure there's a fashion designer here. Okay. Do we have graphic designers here? Video editors? So, caterers, whatever you are doing, AI can help you upscale it. But there needs to be a balance, and the balance is your faith. So now, would it shock you if I tell you that AI is in the Bible? AI is in the Bible. Yes. The Bible is very complete. She said it. We have a guide. The Bible is very complete that AI is in the Bible. And it is even in the beginning from the fathers of faith. That's Abraham. When Abraham was going to the promised land, to Canaan, he sojourned, he kind of pitched his tents in the middle of Bethel and Ai. So let's open our Bible to Genesis chapter 12, verse 6 to 8. And Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abraham and said unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he and what? An altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and I on the is KJV. If you change it to another version, it is AI. So AI is in the Bible. If you need answer for anything, check the Bible. Every product has a manual. We don't use our product manual. I know most of us, everybody actually, when we buy power bank, you buy phone, once you buy it, you tear the carton, that manual stays in the carton. I think that's what we are doing for our life too. Our life. Our manual is the Bible. We need to start using our what? We need to use our words. So everything you want, all that you need for life and godliness is in you. The Bible is our manual. If you're ever confused, open it, read, you get your answer. Because the creator who created us as products gave us a manual. So why did I check this? At some point, I was so confused because of my faith. I'm much more concerned about my faith, whatever I do in my life. It's more like that's the priceless thing I have. It must not be lost. Jesus can never be lost with whatever you do. Do you get? Because eternity matters. So whatever you do, Jesus must not be lost. So I was confused. Then I remember that at some point when I was reading the Bible, I've seen AI in the Bible. So I went back to it. Then I got more clarity. So what you need to do concerning AI, you don't use AI without God. If you go to AI without God, you will be what? Consumed. AI is a tool, like an armor. But imagine the armor you are using can talk. Imagine the armor you are using can tell you, tilt the way you will hit this thing, hit it 3 times. Imagine that was how your hammer is. You know, there are times when you want to hit and you have learned that you have to just do it like this. And the hammer will say, do this, do this, do this. You don't want to listen. You will now have battle with divine intelligence. You will have battle with human intelligence, what you know. Then you'll now be shrinking down to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, the definition is what every one of us, I can create every one of us in this place can create artificial intelligence. What you know, when you put it as data, you have created an intelligence. So artificial intelligence comes from human what? Intelligence. Then human intelligence comes from God intelligence. So you should not use AI in a way that you are stooping low and AI is giving you all the directive. When you use AI, you have to be in control. Do you hear what I said? You have to be in control. So while we're reading that verse, there was something I highlighted. Who noticed the word I highlighted when we were reading that verse? There was a word I highlighted. There was something Abraham built. What did he build? Exactly. So for you to stay in the loop, for you to use AI, you need an altar. You need an altar. If not, you will be swallowed. So what are altars? Altars are two-way communication with God and man. Altars are two-way communication with God and man. In the olden days, altar is more like fire, this and that. But in this New Testament, we are altars, right? Okay? We are altars. I'm telling you, we are altars. The Bible says, don't you know that you are the temple of God? So we are the temple of God. We are altars. What did I say? So what you need is to build an altar. AI can steal your time. It will steal your time. Your time should be used for godly things. Your time should be used, it is a machine. You can stay on it like this and you're pressing your phone throughout. You are doing AI. You are building. You are growing things. But you don't have love again. Your brother comes to the room. You shout on his head. Your parents send you a message. You are angry. You are this. You are that. In as much as you are using machine to do whatever you are doing, influence and all, if you are rude to your parents, it's very wrong. Do we get? So there are things that needs to be balanced. Bethel and AI. It is like a war in your heart. So you have to guard it by building altars. So I'll be reading why we should build, how you can build altars. Okay, so altars are secluded locations for fire to fall on. And I said we are altars. The Holy Spirit has fallen upon us. The Holy Spirit is the fire. Altars are for sacrifice. Altars are used for communication. Altars are used for milestones. As you are moving in your life, you build altars at different locations. So from Abraham's journey to Canaan, at Bethel, AI, he built an altar. He went to a mountain, he built an altar. He went to another place, he built an altar. So he has this relationship and continuous building altars and altars and altars. So altars are for encounters and divine expectation. You build altars so that you can encounter God. You are the altar. So once you are an altar, you will encounter God every day. Altars, I've said it before, I use for communication with God. Note that there are evil altars. There are evil altars to be pulled down, to be prayed against, and to be destroyed. For us, evil altars are never to be built. Now, how do I build an altars? Altars are built with consistency. She said something about consistency. Now, I'm not just talking about consistency of showing up. Okay, it's consistency of showing up, but it's not just showing up online. It's showing up offline to God. You cannot keep showing up online every time you are posting and you are not praying. When temptation comes, you are going to fall. And temptation may not be as bad as you think it to be, that you know that, I will not do this one. Temptation might be a client bring a deal to you. There are deals you don't take. There are work that is looking legit, but you can't take it. Someone can bring a deal to you. You can use AI to change some information, create this. If you do it, you are going to be doing impersonation or doing a Yahoo boy's work, and you don't know. Because first, you don't stay in the truth, you don't pray. So even if you know, you will not have the power to overcome because you have not been going to your altar. So altar are more important. As much as you want to show up every day online, show up in the presence of God. And when I say God, I mean show up in the presence of daddy. Show up in the presence of Father. I know a lot of people, they will not boldly say it, but I don't like prayer, right? I don't like prayer. A lot of people, they will not boldly say it, but their mindset is, I don't like prayer. Let me now break it down. What is prayer? Prayer is communication with God. Abi? Prayer is communication with God. So let's put inside a sentence. I don't like communicating with. So that's what that person is saying. So go to your altars always. Altars are built with worship. Altars are built in consistency. Altars are built with worship. In spirit and in truth. Altars are built in spirit and in truth. When you go to God, you don't form. You cry to Him. You tell Him what happened. The best person to tell that you had a heartbreak is God. Not the human you see. Trust me, the best person to tell that you had a heartbreak is God. Altars are built in the heart. altars are built in the heart. I said it that we are altars. So in the olden days, when you want to build an altar, you go to a location, do the altar, something like that. That's what these traditionalists are doing. It's still working for them. It's grace that they are receiving. Altars are built in the heart, not on a stone, not with palm oil and leaves. It is in your heart because you are the temple of God. So what I mean by that is you don't have to be in your room. Your altar is not just in your room. Remember, altar is a location. So your room can be an altar that once you are there, it's charged. Its atmosphere is different. Your room atmosphere cannot be the same with a club atmosphere. So your room as a location is an altar. Then you, as a person, you are an altar in the sense that wherever you are in the toilet, you are in school, you are in church, even if you are in a club. I didn't say you should go to a club. Even if you are in a club, evangelizing, doing something right, even if you are there, you are an altar. So altars are built in your heart. If you pray often, you become altars. That's the consistency part. So again, I'm telling you, there are many things you can do with AI. I think my time is up, but just like speed, lightning section. So we are still going to do practical section. And you are going to go home with things that you will do. If it's a song, if it's a comic, a character design, whatever you want to do, it's fast. It's very fast. You can do it fast. But my own concern is that you don't use AI and lose eternity. So I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. All right. I want to believe that we are not yet tired. Don't worry, we'll soon have our break, our tea break shortly. But right now, we'll be going into the practical, our breakout session, where you would have one-on-one conversations with our speakers. They would, give live applications and all of that. So we have three groups now. The first will be handled by Mr. Covenant, and the session is meant to how to handle LinkedIn profile setup and the process of creating quality posts. So more on the social media aspect, and he being an influencer in LinkedIn, he'll be putting us through that. We have another session by Ms. Shimilori, and she'll be putting us through business, video content creation processes through business, how to develop yourself in whatever business skill you want to come up with. And then Mr. Israel will be putting us through AI content creation. So those are the three groups we have. This side would be for business. So if you know that you want to be involved in one business or the other, and you need guidelines on how to go about it, this is the section you'll be with Sister Shemilori. The middle part will be for our LinkedIn people, social media handling and all of that by Mr. Covenant. And this side would be for AI, literally anything on AI. Like he said, you'll be going on with things to do, whether comics, songs, and lots more. So can we do that quickly? Only if the way you are seated, maybe that's what exactly you want to learn. So if you know that you want to go on the aspect of business, please can you move here? If you want to go to the aspect of social media, handling, building of your social media page, how to grow influence on LinkedIn, exposure. And if you want to go into AI content creation, you want to produce songs, comics, videography, and whatsoever, you'll be on my left side. Can we be quick about that? And fill in the front seats. Don't let us be so much back. So you want to grow a LinkedIn handle, you want to know how it works, social media. All right.
Hi everyone. So Who are these people for? What are you here for? LinkedIn. Okay, cool. And you are AI content creation. And you are business. So if you are business,